Welcome everyone to the NWISD School Board regularly scheduled meeting for Monday, July 27th, 2026. We have a quorum present, minus Mr. Buckner. He is out on vacation. Time is 5:05, so I'll call the meeting to order, and let's go start with the pledge, and then Quincy will lead us into the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Will you lead us in prayer?
Our Heavenly Father, we praise you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for all that you've done for us. But all, thank you for your Son, Jesus. We thank you for this school district and all of the people who work to make it a better district. Students that will be here. Pray that your safety and guidance upon us as we start the new year. May everything we do tonight be done for the good of the district and for your glory. In Jesus' name. Amen.
All right. We're going to start. We're going to open up a budget workshop.
So you should have one that's got some yellow highlights on it. I thought that would be a little easier. There hasn't. We've kind of been talking all along that we didn't think there would be a huge amount of change the way things are being done from the legislature this summer. And so kind of each section, I just tried to highlight for you the current budget, that information, and everything that changed from last time. On the estimated expenses, for a large degree, there's no changes, but I did highlight a couple of things that were either updated or that maybe didn't make clear. At this point, we have all positions filled. All positions, they're either filled or we have the person who's coming in, and the case may be. So everything is in place now for all of our positions. We talked about, the board asked this last year, but I didn't delineate it. We talked about the instructional aides who are tasked with, say, restrooming, for lack of a better word, but changing diapers, and that usually goes hand in hand with students who are very challenging in other ways as well. And so we did include an additional stipend for that. That's not for everyone. It's for instructional aides only. And the definition of that is most of them are either one-on-one or they're in that very severe and profound classroom. And as we've said before, it's a very difficult job that not many people would want to do. And from a financial standpoint, it's even more challenging. So that was one thing the board had talked about last year that we did have in there, but we didn't talk about it. We got that added, and that's in there. And that would be, if memory serves, I believe, we can put anything we want for doing it, but we didn't put $1,000. We have 4 people who would qualify for that. So we're talking 4 people. And to be honest with you, like all positions, it might be an incentive that someone wants to do that versus not wanting to do that versus, hey, I'd really like to get out of this because of the challenge it is and what it means. Mr. Gray, I did recommend, and we should do this, but for teachers who have a master's degree, and they're in a teaching role, so this would not be your administrators or counselors, this would be your teachers. The differentiation we have between having a master's degree and not a master's degree is $200, which, to be honest with you, is pretty low. And so we just, as a marker, moved that up to 1,000. I believe it was 14 teachers. Okay, Michelle and I talked. She believed there was a total of 15 teachers. So we certainly don't have to. That's just our recommendation. It doesn't really change our bottom line because these are things we've had, but we didn't really focus on them per se. And then everything else was the same. At this point, we've kind of locked in that 2.5% raise for people, and that's kind of what we've been doing all along, and so that's still there. Any questions on that section before moving to another section?
When you have teachers that want to go
obtain their master's degree? Does the district help pay for that?
Yeah, so what we started a few years ago is that if they start that procedure, or if they started, now previously we did the master teacher going through the national,
National board.
yeah, the national board, that when they would complete a section, we would, and they turn their stuff in, we would reimburse them. And we keep just a little bit of, for teachers who qualify for that program or for the incentive element, a very small, just to grow that for teachers to continue to go and get that.
And is there money for actual masters from like a four-year university?
Yeah, if they want to, we just haven't had many. Sometimes we can only do a class, it just depends on what the tuition and what it is. So we have not had many take advantage of it, but we had a few. I believe 2 that I can think of. I believe have started using it. It is a pretty small amount, but we hope that as more grow, it's kind of a thing that can kind of feed into itself and provide some extra opportunities. For the further considerations, there's really no change in that section. And to be honest, there's really no change on page 2. This was, again, just to remind you, this is if you look at the template, it doesn't look good. It suggests that it's really, going to be lower than we made last year, which doesn't really make sense, but you never know with the state. So while the template would suggest that we would make 15.1, which as you can see would be a loss of over $650,000, which historically has not occurred. So that's why we looked at the historical. That's just kind of reminding you of that. Updating for where we are for this year. Oh yeah, I forgot the dance and the movement here. For where we are this year, we are still on track to approximately conclude somewhere between a negative 100,000 and a positive 100,000. It just really comes down to how the next 2 months go, or a month and a half goes. If something breaks that shouldn't break, or if something breaks that we can handle, that we actually have a chance to be positive at the end of this year. And ideally, none of the other notes have changed, so we're just not changing much because we're not hearing much different from the state or anyone else.
How's enrollment look? That's what we'll get.
So enrollment for our early, this is when starting the next week or so is when our numbers should start jumping up quite a bit. We had, as of last week, it was 2 weeks ago, I believe, about 1,020 pre-registered, which is a drop, but for this point in time is ahead of where we normally are. So we will see. What we've noticed is it's about a 60 to 70 kid drop from whatever the first number looks like on the first day of school. So like if it said we were going to have 1,200 kids, we can expect that it will be about 1,130 or 1,140. If it said we were going to have 1,000, it's just the way people going from one to another in their new school not registering. So we'll see as we get a little closer what that looks like by next week. But hopefully we're going to be back up around. We have added some people. Miss McMurray has got to do a lot of trailblazing and checking and home visits. And if you come by, you get to hear several conversations in the front office with people on the phone saying, well, I bought a piece of land because that worked. And we try to explain to them, no, somebody's going to come by and make sure you're living there. Some seem to accept that. Some seem to think that we're not too serious until we don't let them enroll. And then they're like, oh, you really meant that. Yeah, we really meant that. So they've been doing a good job of checking on people and checking them out. New housing, just from line of sight, about last week before I went to a legislative conference, I just went our 3 major ones. Waverly Station has got their full 25 whatever houses up. Haven't seen new ones, but they're doing the roads and the walls and the fences and all that. Most of those say sold. There's still a couple that don't, but most of those. Waverly Place, those seem to be going up, not as fast, but certainly steadily. I believe Roebuck is the name of the street. They put up about 5 to 8 houses, and they're going around back and adding more. Manners is adding a few. Manners or mansions.
I counted 16 in there.
Yes, I think that's what I saw. And then occasionally Deer Creek will still pop up with 1 or 2. So its positioning, I believe, Mr. Nichols has gotten a couple that have already been added to the bus route that have been verified through Ms. McMurray, or they have the right documentation to be verified, so. And we did get the new bus, by the way, we did pass that up, so. They hauled off the other one and gave us this one. Oh, they haven't hauled it off yet? Oh, I thought they did. Well, maybe we'll keep that one and not tell them. But, yeah, so I think that's where we are enrollment wise right now. So really, there wouldn't be an action item unless, as long as y'all feel good about these things, we won't change them and they will be in our official budget if you feel good about where we are. It's been pretty consistent with that number of about 1.5. According to the template, if you look historically, the numbers can be a lot smaller, but I want to present you both.
Any questions? We going over it? Looking at it? All right, if there's no questions, we'll close the budget workshop. Yep, presentations.
One thing, if I could, before they do, both Ms. Brock and Ms. Baylor here, but Mr. Drain, would you like to introduce your guest?
Yes.
Not really a presentation, but an opportunity for you guys to.
So this is our new high school assistant principal, Angela.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Been hard at work this last week.
All right, so didn't have that on there, but I thought, she's here, so let you guys say hello. We'll go from there. All right,
Going to ESSA.
Yes.
Program update.
Ms. Brock, if you want to give them an update on the E ESSA.
Sure. I provided you just a one-pager quick summary for it, and this is just an annual update for our federal programs that we receive grant money for. This is the ESSA funds, and we get those funds based upon our students that participate in the free and reduced lunch program. And so in the chart below that has the school on it, it shows you the percentage of students that participated in the program this last year. That's what the grant will be based on. And then the previous year. So our numbers have gone down, the numbers of students participating in the free and reduced lunch program, which made our funds go down slightly. For our Title I funds, those are used for improving basic instruction. And we have budgeted those funds for personnel, supplemental computer programs, and campuses, our elementary and intermediate, to purchase supplies. Our Title II grant funds, we use those for teacher retention, recruitment, and professional development. And this year we have budgeted those funds for math professional development. We are implementing Bluebonnet Math, and we have purchased some implementation support from Region 6. And so those funds will be used for that, and also to be a part of a early childhood collaborative and school health and school nurse collaborative, and then also just some general professional development as campuses need. And the last funds that we receive are Title IV, and that is to support student and academic enrichment, and we use those funds to pay for another personnel position. So do you have any questions about the grant or the federal funds?
All of them went down slightly. For a little bit.
And so this year, our hope is that we can, not that we want students to be a part of that program, but if we have students that need to be in the program, we want them to be identified. So Ms. Bechtold and I have been working together, and she has a plan that will really reach out and make sure that every student that could be a part of that program will be identified and receive those services. And then in turn, we get those additional funds.
Any questions? No. All right,
Thank you, Ms. Brock.
Thank you.
Let's move into a special education overview.
Ms.
Good
Bailey.
evening. I'm just going to go over our continuum of services, just to let you know, update you on all of the programs that we have here in New Waverly. It's definitely changed over the 4 years that I've been here, and that changes with the students that move in. Basically, Heather will tell you, if they come, you build it, that sort of thing. If we don't have it, we have to figure it out. So if you look on the second page, I'm going to go from most restrictive to least restrictive. So we start at the elementary school. We have early childhood special education classes. And those are students who are ages 3 through 5 who have a disability and qualify to come to school. And that is a classroom where there's a teacher and a paraprofessional, and that'd be one of those paras like Dr. Hill was talking about to get that stipend, because they do toileting, lifting, different things like that. So that would be one of those. The next two classes, we added structured learning. That class is a self-contained special education class. It's at the elementary. It is geared towards students with autism. It's very structured compared to any other classroom. And it also is a teacher and a paraprofessional at this time based on the numbers that we have. And that's again, one of those positions that Dr. Hill was talking about. We'll be adding a functional academics class, and you can think about that as your life skills class. If you will, we're just calling it functional academics because they are still getting academics. It's just geared more towards transitioning from high school into being adults, teaching on those skills along with all of the TEKS. And that class is also right now a teacher and a paraprofessional. We're trying to verify about some students coming back, so we may have some leeway there with what that staffing looks like. So we haven't filled that position yet, waiting to see if they show up or not. And those are self-contained special education classes. And that functional academic class, though, they will go out they might go out to resource, or they may go out to general ed, but usually with support. And even our structured learning and our early childhood classes, they go to lunch with general education students and also to specials with those students with support. We move into resource, and those students are in general education and they get pulled out. And that means they are in a pull-out classroom less than 50% of their day. So you go from that self-contained classroom to a pull-out type of classroom. And that's where our dyslexia would also fall kind of under that, because dyslexia now is all under special education, and that's a pull-out program. Those programs, all of those programs, actually, we have at the elementary school. And we have a functional academic class at the elementary school this year that will serve actually kindergarten through 6th grade, because I do have a 6th grader. He will kind of do some moving around. And then I have a functional academic class at the high school, and we've had that for a couple of years now. In-class support, this is where students are all in the general education setting, and either a teacher, certified teacher in special education, or in our case, sometimes a general education teacher or a paraprofessional that is kind of overseen by a special educator, goes into the general education classroom to assist those students. It's really all students in the classroom, but they help the teacher and any special education students in that classroom. And that would be our least restrictive environment, because they're in that general ed. They're not leaving for any, we're going into them. At the elementary, we do have a blended pre-K classroom, which is a regular pre-K classroom that teachers dual certified, both general ed and special ed. And we have those students who don't need that self-contained early childhood class, but can be in a regular classroom. And that child can be 3, 4, or 5, depending on their needs. And then we provide that additional support in that classroom. But they receive all those pre-K guidelines with general ed kids. And then we have our dyslexia/dysgraphia interventions. That's explicit instructions that, a couple of years ago, all dyslexia moved into under special education. And we have to pick from a list, basically, that's compliant with our TEA guidelines. And we use Reading by Design, and we service those students 4 days a week, 45 minutes for each time. So we only come 44 days a week. So you can imagine, but our principals have been fabulous this year, and we've been able to schedule kindergarten through 6th grade intervention time. So our students will only have to miss maybe a little bit of specials, if they even have to do that. It may be 35 minutes in their dyslexia group and then just 10 minutes. So we've done a really good job of figuring that out, because we can't pull them out of core instruction. We offer speech and language services. And the one thing that we do that not everybody does around us, we screen all of our pre-K students at the beginning of the year to see if they need any articulation or language assistance to try to catch those early, because early intervention is the best intervention. So we have one speech and language pathologist, and then we have a speech and language pathology assistant, which is just part-time. Deaf and hard of hearing support, you all approved that service contract with Conroe ISD because there are so few of those. We only have that program right now at the high school. That's our only student there that needs that. We have had homebound services in the last couple of years, and that is all usually for medical reasons. But that is something offered both through special ed and through general ed 504 if needed. But they have to apply, the doctors have to fill out some information, and a lot of things are taken into consideration before we provide that homebound service. We offer related services after you qualify under the special education umbrella. We have currently in our district, we have physical therapy, occupational therapy, some counseling. We're going to be adding some adaptive physical education. And then also we have Ms. Hill that helps us a lot with social skills and behavior training. And our behavior has really improved greatly with her assistance, so we're really fortunate to have her. As far as with speech, I also wanted to just let you know that we're going to be adding, we have several students that are nonverbal, so we're working with a company and helping those families get communication devices. So that's going to be something that we're going to be helping approximately 5 students start communicating with they're not only their families, but also their classmates, which we're super excited about. I gave you kind of a grid about where all those programs are in our district. Like I said, as they move, our programs may move, or if people move in, we may have to add those. On the page 8, the slide, it shows our growth. From 2021, if you look through 2021 to 2025, that is our scheme snapshot October date. So you can see in 2021, we had 9.5% were special education, were identified for beams. And last year in October of 2025, we were 16.43%. There was a big jump from 24 to 25 because of dyslexia. Dyslexia used to be under 504. We had to evaluate, and those all moved to SPED. But we also have just had a lot of move-ins. We have a lot of young ones in the elementary. My first, I think maybe 2 years, we hardly had anybody. And then the last 2 years, they've really exploded. And then that 2026 amount there, that 17.31%, the 183 kids, that was the ending total for the 25-26 school year. So that is what we ended with, the 17.31%. At one point last year, we were 201, but with dismissals and people moving in and out, that ended up just being that 183. So we definitely have grown over the last several years. And then I just gave you a snapshot of our campus allocations and what you see that we have on our campuses. The majority of these, you can see, like especially at the junior high and high school, and even at the intermediate, a lot of our special education teachers do more than one thing. They may teach, they may coach. We're fortunate that with dyslexia, I have somebody trained. I have a special education teacher trained on every campus. So our dyslexia teachers do not have to go to the junior high and high school because the special education teachers there are able to serve those kids. But we have quite a few kids from K through 6 that in order to serve them, it requires a great number of people. Dr. Hill has sat through many a meeting with me for me to prove to him why I need support in that area. So, but that's kind of just a rundown of what we have and our growth and the services we provide. So, if you have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's, public comments. Anything else on the
No, there wasn't.
Nobody signed up for public comment? We'll move into action items. Consider the minutes for the June 22nd, 2026 meeting.
I'll make a motion to
accept the minutes. Got a motion by Mr. Ballard, do I hear a second? I'll second. A second by Mr. Gregory. Any further discussion? No further discussion, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Consider the financial statement for June 2026.
One question on page 86, 71,000 to TCS AC. Is that for,
That was the RTE, what we did, we changed up that 30 ton AC unit. Yes, sir.
Any other questions? No further questions, I entertain a motion.
like a motion to approve?
Got a motion by Mr. Gregory. I'll second. Got a second by Mr. Ballard. Motion and a second. No further discussion. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Consider reissuing 2024-2025 financial audit report due to licensing issue with Carr, Riggs, and Ingram LLC audit firm location. So if I remember this from last time, this is where we're changing offices and then redo office address. Correct. There's no other changes on it. All right, I'll make a motion as presented. I'll second. Got a second by Mr. Riley. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider joint election agreement / election services contract for Walker County. I'm rolling.
Yes, this is our normal, for having our election in November, the agreement we have to make with them. We just have to do this and pass it because we have to get them.
This is the same joint election deal that we do every year for every position. I'll make a motion. All right, got a motion on Mr. Ballard, do I hear a second? Hard to wait down there.
I know. She said.
Ms. Bott is our second. Any further discussion? No further discussion, move to a vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Order Board of Trustees election position 1, 2, 3 for November 3rd, 2026. That is formality
Yeah.
that we do every year for this. We have to do the order of elections.
Like a motion.
Yep.
Board of Trustees election.
Got a motion by Mr. Gregory as presented. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Gold. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. We'll move to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider the teacher evaluation calendar for 2026-2027.
Yes, this is also pretty normal, what we do each year. This kind of establishes the when and where the evaluations can take place, some guidelines of, not after the day preceding or following a holiday unless agreed to or whatever. Just kind of gives the teachers that guideline as well.
Motion. Motion by Mr. Ballard. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gregory. Any further discussion? Everybody good with it? You're a teacher. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider CASB local policy manual update 127.
Yes, so this is unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, one of those massive updates that they give us all at one time. Using Texas Association of School Board, they just make these recommendations on the manual. It allows you to look at, this goes on to the online section and to our physical copy. And so anything that's there, just continually gets updated to reflect whatever came out of the legislative session. And so pretty much whenever they have, like CFB local, it's just talking about when your threshold and alignment changes and all that kind of stuff. So to be honest with you, it's pretty good stuff. Yeah. So it can be lengthy reading, as you guys well know.
It's usually right here. This is a typical thing we do with CASB all the time, so we have no choice but to pass it for the state, so.
I'll make a
I'll make a
motion
motion.
to.
I got a motion out there.
I'll make a
Motion by
motion
Ms.
to approve the TASB localized policy manual update.
Got Got a motion by Ms. Mock, I'll second it. Any further discussion? All right, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Review all 2026-2027 student handbooks.
Let me just get real quick on the student code of conduct, if you're okay with that. There's not really an update on that, even though it says 26, 27. TASB did not update it, so essentially what we passed last year would still be there.
So we'll pass on that up.
Yeah, we can pass that out. Okay, so, where was I? I'm sorry. So the.
Review all 2026-2027.
Oh, you're right, I
student
jumped out of line, I'm sorry.
handbooks. You're plowing on.
I got myself backwards, I apologize. When we get time, yeah, you're good. Yeah, so I'll let the principals, I think they're gonna tell you that in general, there really weren't any major changes other than names and dates, but, we'll start with, I guess you're in the front row, Drain, we'll let you go first.
Hopefully you guys have a copy of mine, there's 3 pages on there we made changes to. Page 46, talk about college course credit, dual credit, change from Lone Star to Blinn Community College. There, on page 92, talks about private spaces. I don't know if I missed that in one of our previous updates. That's just a direct from the state. It has to be in our handbook. And then the last one on page 151, which is part of the student code of conduct and tiered system that we put in terms of discipline and placement of DAP. Changes the wording on that, which says end of semester / end of year, took out that end of semester, so it should just only be end of year. So there was some confusion on that last year. So, no changes. Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Drain.
Reverse order.
Sure, just go right from here. Keep going.
All right, good evening. No changes besides just names, new people coming on board. And then we added on page 9, the human sexuality curriculum. It was in there before, but we just didn't outline the whole thing, so add that. That's it.
Mr.
Well, Tiffany and I share one, so I got to change on both of us. There's updated names, you know, like taking Miss Gregory's name out, adding Miss Beckle, adding new teachers. I changed all the references in ours from the longest email in history, www.w-webley. I'm trying to get it to where, you know, it answers to www.NWISD.net. So I changed everything to that. Put advanced math policy in there, and then simply drop things that don't apply to our campus, like military armed service aptitude test, CTE classes, repeating the high school credit course, ACTs, career days, with the potential of hiring high school students. Just, there's about 20 bullet points that don't apply to us. We just didn't feel like it. That's it.
It was our spokesperson. Say no.
Any of our teachers have any input or thought process, or everybody good? Sounds like everybody's good. Move to accept the changes as presented. Mr. Ballard made a motion to accept the changes as presented. I hear a second. Ms. Golke. Second. Any further, wait, got a question?
I was told here to the notes, or I'm sorry, I'm jumping in J,
Yeah.
excuse me. I didn't say nothing good.
So no further discussion, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, and we will, we're gonna table agenda item I. And we'll move into review the new NWISD 2026-2027 athletic.
Yeah, and Mr. Coach Schaub would be here, but 2 different things going on. They've got Mr. Club meeting tonight, and also they have football camp, and so that's why he's here as well. the kids. This was actually something that I requested of them, is to kind of try to flesh out what we were supposed to be doing and make sure that was there. And that's only in the case that we run into a situation where it becomes necessary or deemed necessary to look at removal of a student from the program for not necessarily a code of handbook rule. In other words, if I were arrested on a Title V felony, that falls under Title V felony, that wouldn't follow this. This is more of, hey, I've been in activity, I've been on a team, you keep having difficulties with me, breaking team rules or whatever the case, it just kind of outlines that a little bit more.
We approved the handbook several months ago, this was just an.
Yes, the handbook was approved several months ago, this is just a
I don't
clarification.
remember that, these are just clerical errors, basically.
Yeah, and it's just, we wanted to file it, so essentially what we wanted to do was say that, hey, there does come time where a student may make a choice that's not in the best interest of the team. The coach still needs the ability to handle that, and they still have that. If they think it's at a point where, gosh, we've tried to work this out, it's just not gonna work, they still need to have that ability. We just wanna make sure that the parent is aware of what's going on and is involved in that stage. And that's a little bit also reflective of things like Senate Bill 12 and stuff like that.
Anybody got any further questions on the athletic handbook? No further questions, I'll make a motion to approve athletic handbook changes as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, any further discussion? No further discussion, move to a vote, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Consider the 2026-2027 child nutrition staff handbook.
I'm going to let Ms. Bechtold just give you the quick spiel. It's not really too much for you, but she came up and she said, hey, I really want to do this for my staff, and so she's running with it. So.
It's just something to kind of keep the staff on the same page and kind of expectations moving forward, things that aren't outlined that they need to be aware of, different policies and stuff, kind of where they have their own handbook to look and refer to.
And I think she modeled that after Montgomery High.
Yes, I did.
So she just tweaked it. Okay.
You got it over there, it's pretty successful in keeping everybody on the same page at all times, just to let me need to be a clear definition of where we were headed.
The motion to approve the 26-27 child nutrition handbook.
We have a motion to approve as presented. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Mr. Byler. Any further discussion? No further discussion, move to a vote, all in favor, say aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Consider the 2026-2027 district improvement plan.
Ms. Brock.
So our district improvement plan this year, there was only 3 major changes to our goals and objectives, but I don't want you to think that there wasn't a whole lot of work that was put into it. So our first committee met for our comprehensive needs assessment in the spring, and they did a lot of work identifying needs and strengths of the district. And then another committee came back about a week or 2 later, and we used those needs to update our district improvement plan. So while we only changed a few things in our goals and objectives, there was a lot of work done in our strategies that help us achieve the goals and objectives that are set. So I'm just going to go over the changes that were made for the goals and objectives, and then the other strategies. And this is a living document, so as things come up or things are needed, I think they can be changed, but the goals and objectives are what are tied to those strategies. So in the goal 1, our strong academic foundation, there was just one change. We removed some wording so that it reads, by the May of 2027, at least 80% of below-level readers and below-level math students will show growth on academic progress measures. On goal 2, in our attendance and graduation, we changed some wording there too to read, by May 2027, New Waverly ISD will have an overall dropout rate of 1% or less for each graduating class. And the last change that was made was for goal 4 in our safe and healthy environment. We removed objective 2, and the reason it was removed is because we already send out a survey to our staff and to parents, so we did not feel that it was needed to be put in there because we do that every year. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Further questions?
What is all that?
So those are the strategies, so underneath each goal and objective, you have to have strategies that are going to help you reach that goal or an objective. And so that's what the committee worked on a lot, is identifying strategies to say like, okay, the campuses, this is what the campus or the department is going to do to reach those goals. And it identifies who is responsible for making sure that it happens and what funds are used for that. So the district improvement plan should also help drive like your budget and where our money is spent.
I move that we accept the district improvement plan.
Got a motion by Ms. Norton. Do I hear a second? Second by Mr. Gregory. Any further discussion? No further discussion? Move to a vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
Change it up.
Best to keep the lights on.
Consider appeals for employee transfers.
It's kind of an interesting kind of situation, a little bit of a gray area. As you know, we kind of referenced at the beginning, we've been holding our folks to what our policy is, and who can work and who can come here in terms of employees. A little bit of a different kind of situation. One of our student resource officers, Blaine, has asked about him bringing his children here. It's a situation where they are employed technically through our agreement with the constable office. And that is true and legal. However, they've also all been a part and kind of been integral to the part of being involved on our campuses. And so in discussion a little bit with Mr. Barkey, certainly with Blaine, who's also here this evening. He's usually here as one of our guys on duty as well tonight, too. There was a question of, would that be something that the board would entertain? In general, you have to be an employee here, and an argument can be made yes and no, but technically it's not. However, one of the thoughts maybe would be is also as an incentive is maybe if someone is their child, would you consider it as long as they remain employed here serving our district? And so because it's a little outside the line, I did not want to make such a decision without consulting you guys and see how you feel. Like I said, I spoke with Blaine. He talked to me about Constable Marty and recommended him going this route. I know that our administration has supported the great job he does, and he has done a good job. And we also have to be cognizant of not trying to open a door that other people could force themselves through. And that's why in this particular case, they are serving in a role daily on our campuses versus someone just being out there who wants to come here.
I mean, I can agree with, to me, I consider them employees, because we pay, even though it's contract employees, are our employees, you're on our campus every day, you interact with our kids, so I personally don't have a problem with it.
So the only stigma I have is does it need to be in there that they must remain a full-time SRO instead of a part-time, so we don't get somebody who goes to work for Gene?
Or this is just a one-time deal, or?
Is this gonna be a blanket deal?
I think my suggestion would maybe take it on a case-by-case situation. That way, what really happens is we have a policy. If someone wants to apply or appeal it, they can have this discussion so that you're not blanketly saying yes to anything to anybody, because maybe there is someone who goes, oh, we run into that too often when someone says, well, I'm a substitute teacher because my kids come here, and we're like, no, maybe not. So I would say
that's
yeah,
I'll be a
would say
reserve
case
deputy,
by
so
case.
can I now come?
Yes, sir. I would suggest we do it case by case. That will also force people to make a cogent argument rather than just, oh, I'm here.
I don't have a problem with it. I think the police officer's student child would be a model student.
I bet so.
No pressure, yeah.
No pressure.
You need a
Yes,
motion?
please.
I'll make the motion, we allow SRO Blaine to bring his kids here.
Are you gonna have a motion?
I'll second.
We have a second. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
How many kids do you have?
12.
Wally, you get some ideas over there?
On N, should we table that till we come back out of executive?
Yes, in case there's some questions. Yes, sir.
We'll
I'll
table
recommend that.
N until we come out of the executive session. Then we're gonna consider the board minutes for August 2026.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Our meeting dates.
At this point, I think we had a couple of different things that we had to try to serve. Let me see, the two things we had to serve in terms of legal things were for Michelle in the business office, getting our budget and our posts and the required postings. And so, and then also for the election, which we've already kind of taken care of. So as of right now, if it works for you, August 17th, which is the regularly scheduled third Monday, would be our meeting. We don't need to move it if you don't. It is the first day of school. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it's the following the first week of school. I'm sorry, I'm saying, it's not prior to the first day of school. I'm sorry. But that's not something we have done it before. That's not, never been done before. But if you are good with it, we will keep it that date, and we will not need to move unless there's a need from the board.
What's the date?
Perfect. August 17th.
Do you need a motion on that?
No, we really don't. Nope, because we're not gonna check, but in case y'all need to or really desire to.
You don't need a motion. Sorry, bad.
No, I'm good with that, sir. Thank you.
Let's see here. What time is it? I'm going to declare us into executive session at 5:52. Declare us back into open session at 8:27, 8:28. Just roll the clock. So we have a few items to come out of executive session. First, we're going to consider the superintendent's evaluation. So do we need a motion on that? Do we?
I believe so.
We do? Okay. Do we need to read them? No, we
No,
don't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
We just say we accept it as
Just leave it.
presented.
Yeah, I think so. I think.
I'll make a motion to accept the superintendent's evaluation as discussed.
As discussed. Perfect.
That's it.
So I've got a motion by Ms. Mata to accept the superintendent's evaluation as discussed, and that's presented. Yeah, do I hear a second? Got a second by Mr. Gregory. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. Move to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Gregory. All right, next thing is consider the renewal of the superintendent's contract. So I'll make this motion. We'll make a motion to extend it by 1 year, keeping the current contract. That would go to, I think it's August of 29. So my motion will be to extend it for the period of 1 year past the expiration date of the current contract. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We got a second by Ms. Mott. So we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Let's move to a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
All right, the third thing coming out of executive session is the ability for the, I can make this motion, don't mind, for the, what do you call it, the right-of-way committee that are dealing with the encroachments on the school property, for that committee to have the ability to hire the attorney, given them the power to hire the attorney at the appropriate time. We're obviously in illegal discussions over a pipeline easement that is coming across the school district. And so we've been in negotiations with them, and looks like we're gonna need to hire an attorney, so we're gonna give the committee that authority to hire the attorney. So that will be my motion, to give the committee, I'm waiting on her to write it down. You're good? Okay. So that's our motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Mr. Butler. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, that was all the action items out of executive session. So information discussion items.
Sure, and I'll let some of our subcommittee members handle this, but in fact, it was, we'll just start with construction. I'll let them give you some updates if you guys want to, since you guys are.
I don't mind, whatever. It's been, and y'all jump in at any time. So,
Absolutely.
you know, I'll go through the nuts and the bolts of it. They put in the pad for both the CT Center and the new gymnasium. They run a lot of lines as far as underground utilities across some of the driveways. Some of the driveways will be some rock spots in them, you know, starting school. There has been a temporary, where it's chopped off the circle at the high school. There's been a temporary drive-through put in right there. The pads are built. A lot of the underground is going inside the pads. The CT Center will go faster than the gym. It's going to go a lot faster. It's a lot simpler building. Looks like they're probably pouring on it, next week? Would be my guess.
Looks like next week.
They'll be pouring the slab next week. The gym will be significantly longer because it's a lot more to it. There has been multiple other things. We've got the track that's been sprayed.
Striping should be next week, I think.
Striping should be there. Then they're gonna come in and do the pits. That's fixing it.
I'm gonna meet the gentleman with ProTrack tomorrow at 10 a.m. to give him the layout as presented by the subcommittee, so we can get that rolling and get that moving on that part too, yes.
So the pits will be there. We looked at locating, we're gonna do a tennis court with some of the money that was on the deal. So that we've got a deal putting, that one company gave us, we bid it out, and we got a very good deal on them putting in the tennis court. So we've got it located as well, so it'll get started. We have
How long of a process is that? Like, are we talking about having a tennis team, like
we already have
practicing?
tennis.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but practicing here this year?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, I think it'll
I
be
think so.
this sometime.
I think it's
this-
doable.
I didn't know if it was a long process.
My understanding is once they pour the pad, they want it to cure for 30 days, and the dress out after that's fairly quick.
I'd say probably 3 months.
If not less,
I
yes.
think our hope is
Weather
to practice
depending.
this spring.
Yes,
That's our hope.
yes, ma'am.
The surveyor, we've got them turned loose to get topo for the baseball softball area up there. They gotta get topo. We've got to turn the guy loose, the GLS, to do a preliminary drainage analysis and design for all of that. We've also turned loose, they had to finish the survey going down Old Houston Road, and there's a lot to locate there. And topo, to run the main water line, we have to run a water line tying in at the elementary school here. It's gonna cut across to Commissioner Decker's office, basically right there, and then it's gonna get on Old Houston and go. So that is that's another major project that's in the planning phases. Let's see here, I'm trying to think, parking lots. Commissioner Decker, give him a good plug. He got the Commissioner Court to do an interlocal agreement to where he could help us do some stuff around the school. Because of that, we've been able to do more parking lots than we originally could afford. So we did a parking lot up between the Highway 75 and the I guess, the visitor side of the stadium. That's all a parking lot. So now there's a new parking lot between the 4-H facility down there by the weight station, the stadium, and the back of Impact. That's a whole new parking lot that's been put in. They've got it almost completed. Now they're working on a third one that kind of just popped up. It's we decided, hey, we got the means and the necessary to do it. It's going to be down in front of the school to the south towards the baseball stadium between the creek and the school. So that'll be a parking lot, and we've got we're getting the rough grade and everything done on it now. The goal will be later on to come in and chip seal / asphalt all of that to where it looks good once we're finished. It's going to look really good because the original teacher's parking lot needs some work on it. We discussed that. Yeah. Well, let's see, junior high parking lot, it was redone.
It was redone.
That was
Striping
just-
this week, so I'll meet the striper tomorrow to go.
That was just redone. Let's see, we're doing a safety vestibule in the front of the junior high currently. Jump in on junior high, talk about some of that, the stuff down there.
We repainted all the classrooms at the junior high. We did the parking lot at the junior high gym floors getting totally taken down to the maple and getting new striping, a new logo in the gym, and gonna get, resurfaced in there. We resurfaced the gym at the high school as well. There's a few, we're adding a security vestibule at the junior high, an outside extension of the front office, so we can leave the main front doors open and have like we do here at this building, a nice catch, so they can get checked in and get scanned in before they go into the building through Raptor and everything. So no one's there having to monitor the door and open the door throughout the day for people coming in.
Did they pull the bleachers out of the junior high gym?
We pulled them. So they took them back as tight as they could and went around them, which is, I think, the industry standard from what I understand. Yeah. But no, it's that's a major undertaking. So it's a 2 or 3 week project, and they're 2 weeks into it, so they should be done with it.
Are they going to fix the electrical plugs and the volleyball plugs that always popped up in your basketball?
I didn't know that, but we can address it right now. So they pop up all the time from the floor plugs.
The one that's under the far end goal, right? Or is it all of them?
It's both of them, under the goals and then the volleyball plugs too.
Floor plugs.
So, the junior high, there's a lot of, with the bond money, we obviously are trying to touch every campus, and these campuses got a major facelift. But so them other ones are getting some very overdue facelifts.
Yes.
The high school, we're in the process of doing a vestibule down there as well.
Yeah,
what that means, and us board knows, like you walk in here, you walk in a free door, and then you have buzz doors to get in the campus. We're down there, somebody had to go and open it, and then you're already let them in school. So we're going to eliminate that
threat.
And it's that threat, and all of them are going to be uniform across the district, and that's the goal of the part of our goals with safety and security. Probably leaving some out. Tell me, what about not touching on?
Oh, gosh.
Well, we purchased a generator for IT for backup redundancies,
IT.
so that's been ordered, and that's going to be installed hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks once it comes in. So we'll have redundancy for the backup system there for the power losses.
It's just big enough to run the IT equipment, not
Yes.
the AC.
Those kind of go hand in hand. You kind of have to have a little cooling.
We painted the athletic hall at the high school. It was that horrible taupe brown, and it's this color now, so it's much brighter, looks clean all the way down through there. We let's see what else we've done. We're actually doing some roof maintenance over there at the high school now, since we have some leaks. We're working on that this week to try to resealing some of the curves and penetrations on top of that gravel roof, so we can try to not replace the roof anytime soon, just do some maintenance to try to prolong the agony there.
Is that AC, or do we have a roof?
That's old. That was from previous. We just got to replace the ceiling tiles. Yes, sir. We're going to do that this week too. Replace ceiling tiles.
I was just wondering, I was like, sure.
No, that's old. Trust me. It's old. It's been a lot this summer.
Yeah, the committee has done a great job, and even Dr. Hill and the whole 9 yards. It's been a lot going on. It's
pushing hard to get the dates there. We got 2 weeks, and that's the final stretch.
We'd like to thank you all.
We know it takes a lot of hours.
We've got a good team.
It takes a team, and the team has been very good, very, very, very good. So, like I said, I definitely thank Dr. Hill for working with us because it's probably hard having 3 construction guys on the board.
Oh, thank you.
I like having 3 ex-superintendents.
But it all works good. We got a lot done this summer. We got more to go, so we're just getting started.
Yeah, we're just getting started, but there's a lot. It's going to be nice to have all that parking.
Yes.
It's going to be nice to have all the safety issues, the safety stuff in place.
How much compared to what we had before?
That's a very good question.
It's fine. It's
I
okay.
will say that
we added
we've added
3 acres behind on the home side of the
yes,
stadium.
so that's a
The front side's about 1.5 acres, and the new parking's about 0.5 acre. So quite a bit more.
It should be quite a bit.
I think with what we did with in the front of the high school south by the baseball fields, I think that's going to equivalent to about 80 spaces, right? I mean, that's
where
the 75 front teacher parking. It's about 80 spaces. That's going to be quite a bit of parking. I mean, It'll be a big, big help to everything over there.
That's good.
That's
They did a great job.
that's a 10,000 foot overview of
That's
a
a-
whole lot of moving parts.
Very high level, yes.
Yeah, that was darker than it has been.
Well, we flipped on the can lights, which is the redundancy for these motion lights. They're off.
I think that's all I have.
That's a lot of
Anybody
it.
else have
I'm
anything?
gonna make a motion that we adjourn.
We have a motion by Ms. Mullins, second by Mr. Gregory. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.